the heart of Central Florida lies the city of Orlando, famed for its jeweled lakes and recognized everywhere as one of the world's largest citrus centers. In all directions as far as the eye can see, stretch the rich orange and other citrus groves that produce Florida's own particular brand of gold. And the capital of this citrus empire is Orlando. Not too many years ago, Orlando was a sleepy little agricultural town. Today, it's famed as one of the South's fastest growing and most progressive cities. Orlando is different from many Florida cities in that it has developed a diversified economy. Like most places in the Sunshine State, it has a healthy number of vacationers, but it does not depend on them wholly for its existence. Indeed, most cities in this country would envy Orlando's versatility, for here thrives agriculture, many types of industry, a wholesale distribution center, and a healthy retail trade. Everywhere the most casual viewer looks is the evidence of hard work and civic pride that went into the building of this unique city. Neat, well-planned city park areas beside sparkling lagoons. Well-kept homes. Impressive municipal and county buildings like the Orange County Courthouse. Outstanding bank and commercial buildings. Beautifully maintained lakes and lagoons with fountains. And majestic swans. Yes, Orlando is quite a city, and its citizens and leaders mean to keep it that way. For when a need arises, it is met. A point in case is the new municipal building, one of the nation's most beautiful. When crowded, inadequate quarters began hampering the efficiency of the city government, the people of Orlando and their elected officials acted. Using tobacco tax money, they built this beautiful building and built for the future. Not long ago, another problem came to the attention of the people of Orlando, a problem that was a result of growth. This problem? Refuse storage and collection. For years, Orlando had gotten by with trash cans, storage bins, and conventional collection equipment. But Orlando had outgrown trash cans. In downtown areas, the refuse volume had outgrown facilities. Sanitation officials fought the situation with every means at hand, but still the refuse piled up, behind shopping centers, in busy downtown areas where it piled up in bins, and overflowed onto the ground. Cans were knocked over. Boxes were stacked alongside buildings. Refuse storage rooms overflowed despite daily service. Even Mother Nature, whose beautiful palms were the pride of the city, added the burden of thousands of palm fronds to the already overtaxed collection facilities. Expensive manpower and countless trucks were devoted to this task, both in city park areas and in housing areas as well, where this costly job was an everyday occurrence. Director of Public Services Glenn Hennig and Mayor Robert Carr were both aware of this worsening situation and made many inspection trips, which led them to the conclusion that a newer, more modern system was a necessity if sanitation and fire conditions were to be improved to a level enjoyed by other leading southern cities. At this point, with the blessings of City Council, it was decided that a comprehensive survey of the situation be made. To handle the critical job, Charles Shader of Orlando, who had a broad knowledge of contract refuse collection, was appointed on temporary assignment to the Department of Sanitation. In making this survey, Shader visited all hand collection routes, and conditions in residential areas were checked. Merchants in downtown areas were interviewed. Storage capacities at all points were carefully measured. Cubic yard accumulations by day, by week, by month were entered on preliminary working sheets together with payroll and truck costs. When these cost figures were tabulated and analyzed, it became apparent that not only was Orlando suffering from unsightly refuse conditions, But she was also paying much more for removal than most southern cities who operated mechanized collection equipment. The survey also revealed that a system of large-capacity refuse containers handled by self-loading packer trucks would pay for itself in a relatively short time, in addition to improving sanitary conditions. Mayor Carr and Director Hennig inspected several types of systems, and the better ones were presented to the city commissioners for approval. This group selected the Dempster Dumpmaster system of mechanized refuse collection. First, because of its wide variety of containers from 1 to 8 cubic yards. Its safe one-man operation. Its powerful compaction plate, which compresses the material to a fraction of its former size for big payloads on every trip to the disposal area. Its ability to pick up and empty a container that holds the equivalent of 54 30-gallon trash cans in a matter of seconds. Its versatility, efficiency, and convenient low-loading height when used on manual collection routes. The fact that the system was tried and proven in small and large cities from coast to coast, all of these were factors which influenced the purchasing decision of the city commissioners. And then the big day came. As Orlando's new Dempster Dumpmasters arrived, 20 of them bright and new, roaring across the causeway and into the downtown area, made quite a sight for the folks on hand. One Dumpmaster was parked at City Hall for a close-up inspection. The mayor, city commissioners, and Director Hennig were all on hand as the keys to unit number 1 were handed over to Mayor Carr. The city employees were also interested spectators and got a close-up view of the new equipment. With the ceremonies behind, the next step was to remove the old boxes, bins, or cans and replace them with the 400 new Dumpmaster containers that had been purchased for this purpose. Referring to the original survey, which showed the rate of refuse accumulation at each major point, the proper size container to furnish adequate storage for each situation was installed. Large containers for big volume, smaller ones for smaller volume, truly a tailor-made system. As each container was delivered to its new location, instructions for its proper use were given. One of the primary requirements for economical operation of any refuse storage system is the breaking down and flattening of boxes. This enables the container to hold more refuse, which means fewer pickup trips, reducing the cost of collection service for the city and the taxpayers. The cooperation between the merchants and the Department of Sanitation on this point made the new system an immediate success, and appearance-wise it was an even greater success. All over Orlando, at major refuse accumulation points, the new containers went into service, providing enclosed storage, rat-proof, fireproof, scatter-proof, enclosed storage for economical commercial users. When the containers are filled, then the Dempster Dumpmaster assigned to each route comes by to collect the refuse. The lifting forks engage the side channels, and the safe clearance arms raise the container overhead, where it's rotated over the hopper, emptying the refuse into the compaction body, where it's reduced to a fraction of its former volume by the packer plate. Another area that received the new service were some of the trailer courts in Orlando. Once these trailer courts were served by almost countless garbage cans. which required expensive dog-proof fences and hundreds of man-hours for handling and collection. Now, one container performs the storage job of many garbage cans, providing enclosed refuse storage that can be collected by the Dempster Dumpmaster in a matter of seconds. In the residential areas, the storage method is unchanged, but there's quite a difference in collection. The men still use tote cans, but now they put the refuse in low-level 3-yard Dumpmaster hand-loading containers where all operations are in front of and in plain view of the driver. A far safer method of collecting refuse and the large volume of trimmings that must be picked up in Orlando each day. When the hand-loaded container is full, the driver, using controls in the cab, raises it overhead for emptying into the compaction body, where the refuse is compacted by action of the hydraulic packer plate, which exerts a force of 78,000 pounds against the material. This force enables the Dumpmaster to carry the equivalent of up to 120 cubic yards of refuse on each trip to the disposal area, depending on the model and density of the material. When the Dumpmaster is filled, it is driven to the incinerator. The rear door is unlatched and the packer plate pushes the material out hydraulically. Yes, the Dempster Dumpmaster is a familiar sight on the streets of Orlando these days. Each morning they leave the municipal garage on their way to serve the people of Orlando. Each evening they return. Each day they save a substantial sum of money, money that adds up to thousands of dollars each year for the taxpayers of Orlando.